So Drake Maye played. Drake Maye played great. Then Drake Maye scrambled. Then he got hit back in the head. No flag. Now Drake Maye's injured, and I'm totally fine. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. And that is correct. Drake Maye is injured. Sliding down at the end of the first quarter after a beautiful, beautiful opening drive. Way too much scrambling. It resulted in a touchdown. That's great. Every pass that he threw connected. As he's mid-slide, gets hit right in the back of the head. No flag. Where's the flag? Are we no longer paying the refs? Do we no longer have this guy? If you touch Tom Brady back in the day, that was a 5-year jail sentence. Okay? That's because when he ran, like I've said previously, he moves like a newborn deer figuring out its legs. Drake Maye, he's an athlete. I guess there's not the same protection on him because people have yet to see the greatness. But no flag for a hit to the back of the head on a sliding quarterback. So, whatever. Drake Maye officially out with concussion, unfortunately. We will see what happens this next week, but the last thing in the world that the Patriots should be doing is starting him if there's a question mark. I know that he's a tough kid. I know he wants to play through it. It's very different than the Jaden Daniels situation in Washington. Concussions, as you can see from watching Tua, are a very, very serious thing that can carry over. If you play immediately after a concussion, you're risking long-term injury. We are not going to the playoffs. We're not winning much. Just start Brissett. Clearly, it'll help our draft stock. He actually did get the job done at the end there. Or the Jets collapsed. I don't know. We're bad. They're also bad. We were a little less bad. But keep the kid out. Keep the kid out. We want to see him for the next 10 years, not the next 10 snaps. Don't let him get hurt worse. Please, for the love of God, Jerod Mayo, I am asking you. Personally, I will go in. You can use my brain, Drake Maye. I will give it to you. There's not a lot there, but you can have it. Don't let this kid turn into the next Tua. Not that I'm saying he's anywhere close to that. But let's not find out. So my last little piece of Patriots news this week, one of the most slept on and one of my actual favorite players on the team for a while now, our edge rusher, Josh Uche, kind of played a Sam linebacker type of position, officially traded. And it hurts. It hurts because they're us now, but we traded him to the Chiefs, so the Chiefs have acquired a new edge rusher and DeAndre Hopkins since we last spoke, and they're going to look more terrifying than ever because, man, I don't know how they're undefeated. This season so far, statistically for Patrick Mahomes, is his worst season, which, granted, his worst season is other people's best seasons, but to be undefeated and playing the way that he is pretty unreal. So you add a crafty veteran with amazing hands and the ability to go up for those 50-50 balls with DeAndre Hopkins, and you add to that rotation of pass rushers with Josh Uche. Kansas City's looking stronger than ever. They're probably going to continue to just be Kansas City. We're stuck with Taylor Swift. This is the NFL now. Another notable one is Deontay Johnson, the former Steeler, gone to the Panthers to help Bryce Young develop, which, spoiler alert, Bryce Young is not developing very well. He is going from the Panthers over to the Ravens, where he's going to have a competent quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and they're just going to get more and more scary. I don't know why they even need that. Zay Flowers is phenomenal. Obviously, Mark Andrews, but Isaiah Likely has come out as, this phenomenal pass-catching tight end. then you got depth with guys like Rashad Bateman, and it's just going to add to it. So, another weapon for Lamar Jackson. Hopefully they can get it done. Hopefully if they make it back to the championship, maybe run the ball more than 6 times. How's that sound? How's that sound, guys? You want to run the ball? Let's run the ball. Okay. So the last transaction is a pretty big one. If you were watching Thursday Night Football last week, Vikings versus Rams, which if you weren't, you probably should, but I don't blame you, because Thursday Night Football was kind of the home of Broncos Russell Wilson. It damaged me emotionally, and I'm sure it hurt plenty of others. But this week it was a fantastic game. Matt Stafford showing off, what he can do with a healthy Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and we'll dive into those guys maybe next week. But the team I want to talk about, the Vikings. You would have seen that Christian Darrisaw, the phenomenal left tackle that they have over on the Vikings, went down with a season-ending injury. Not so good. So the Vikings, in a very smart move, went down to Jacksonville, picked up Cam Robinson. They'll throw him on the blind side and hopefully keep on rolling. But the Vikings have taken a very interesting turn, and it seems like this happens with a different team every season, right? So Vikings start 5-0. They, at different points, have been on the top of power rankings, depending on who you watch. They were probably wrong to have them at the top, but they had some impressive weeks. They had some really impressive weeks. They stayed with the Kansas City Chiefs as the last undefeated team, and these last 2 weeks, I understand losing to the Lions. I truly understand losing to the Lions. They are a powerhouse. You got Montgomery, you got Gibbs, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got J-Mo, you got Laporta, all just on the offense. Where do you even defend against them? So there's a really interesting stat that after the Lions beat you, you lose the next week. People are calling it the Detroit hangover. I am pretty sure that it has to do with the kneecaps.
What do you mean by
Dan
that?
Campbell has people out there biting everybody's kneecaps.
We're going to bite a kneecap off?
And it takes people a full week to recover from that. It is not a pleasant feeling. That's the last thing you want to feel as you're getting up from a play, is Aiden Hutchinson, rest in peace, biting on your kneecap. So, anyway, Vikings break their 5-0 streak, losing to the Lions. Probably a Super Bowl favorite team. Understandable. They'll have rematches. It's divisional. This could be a preview of the conference championship, is what a lot of people are thinking. And then they roll into the next week, and they're playing a team with 2 wins in the Rams. And everybody's calling it a show-off game for Cooper Kupp, an audition game to trade him away because the Rams are hopeless. People are even talking about Matt Stafford going and being the quarterback for the Vikings over Sam Darnold. No, they aren't going anywhere. Rams just showed what they can do when they're healthy, and if you have a healthy Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, my God, they can dice it up. So, Vikings didn't look so hot in that one, and it seems like every single year there's a team that comes out the gates absolutely on fire, and somewhere right around week 8, they just go, woo, and that looks like the Vikings this year. The most memorable one for me in recent seasons was the Cardinals. I don't know if anybody off the top of their head can remember this. I want to say it was 2 seasons ago, maybe 3. I believe it was the 21 season when the Cardinals started out something around 7 or 8-0, and then just totally imploded. Last year it was the Eagles. Every single year there's a team that looks phenomenal out the gates. They peak too early, and then they crash and they burn. It's looking like the purple people eaters may be eating themselves because they're purple people. Or Dan Campbell might be eating their kneecaps. I don't really know where I was going there. But, point being, Vikings are not looking so hot. Sam Darnold is starting to look like Sam Darnold back from New York. I don't know if this has to do with Halloween. He's probably seeing those ghosts again. He's seeing those ghosts again. He's missing receivers. He's missing receivers badly. It was not just a bad face mask call. They were losing that game. He could not hit anybody. So we'll just have to see how it goes with them. I have plenty of faith that Kevin O'Connell can pull things together for the team to really make that strong push into the postseason. But if history shows us anything, there is always that team that crashes and burns. And again, it is looking like it is going to be the Vikings this year. Sam Darnold, I would say, is the biggest concern, but you do have a quarterback whisperer type of coach. So we'll see where it goes. Anyway, that has become part of our weekly thing. I like to dive into to a team, take a little bit of a closer look at them. I'm thinking next week, maybe pull up some stats ahead of time, and we can dive into, let's see, the Rams, the Texans, the Ravens, or maybe the Colts. Let me know down below who you'd like to see. And our final piece of NFL news, specifically for one of my biggest supporters, Anthony Richardson has officially been benched for Joe Flacco. On a crucial end of the game drive, Anthony Richardson, on second down, goes over to his sideline and benches himself because he's tired. Which, I understand it, everybody on the field is tired, but it was crucial to the game. He is the quarterback carrying the team, and he taps himself out because he's tired as he's fighting for his position. I think it was a bad enough look that that's part of what got him pulled. And, really really the biggest thing about Anthony Richardson is how much of a project he was. The kid had something like 15 games past the high school level, just in the collegiate level, going into the NFL. Then last year he had 4 games. We're talking about a guy with like under 20 games going into the season from college and above. But clearly that physical talent is through the roof. But sitting behind Joe Flacco might not be the worst thing in the world. It's giving the Colts the best chance to win because Joe Flacco somehow at the age of 38 turned around and was like, hey guys, guess what? I'm really good again. I don't understand what happened with him, but just look at what he did in Cleveland last year. Look at what he's doing now. You give him Jonathan Taylor, you give him Michael Pittman. It gives you the best chance to win if you're Indianapolis. But Anthony Richardson needs to sit behind a very experienced Super Bowl winning quarterback in Joe Flacco and learn, because I have never heard of a quarterback tapping out like that. And it's such a bad look for the rest of the league. It's a bad look on the Colts. It's a bad look on Anthony Richardson. So a little more maturity, a little more conditioning. I don't even know if media training to not say something like that if they ask you. It's bad enough you did it. Maybe don't admit it. That's kind of the Patriot thing, doing things and then not admitting it. So he has a lot to learn, and Joe Flacco could be the guy to teach him. So Shane Steichen can work with Joe Flacco, get some W's, see how you go from there. And finally, thank you very much to our sponsor. That's right, everybody. Again, this week our sponsor is nobody. Nobody yet. We do actually have one lined up, which is extremely exciting. That's going to be coming to you in the next few episodes. But for the time being, still shouting out friends of the channel, still shouting out trolls. So this one is brought to you by Zergusen. Mr. Zergusen, that is Zerguzen, who came into my chat as I was giving a tour of the radio station that I worked at, and went back to a familiar saying, as he said, Diddy on repeat. That's all he had this time. That's all that they had. Just Diddy over and over again. Not quite sure why the trolls are lacking good material, but people, I am encouraging you. Subscribe, turn on the notifications, wait for my dumbass to go live, and then troll the hell out of me. I will put you onto my very, very, very moderately viewed YouTube channel. It'll be fantastic. Anyways, that is the show for this week. Love you guys. Hope you have a good Halloween. This may actually be after Halloween. I'm recording this right before Halloween. But, time traveling, kind of how editing works. But getting into spooky season, getting into the holiday season, I will catch you on the live streams. See you Sunday. Much love. Catch you later.